Hey there, and welcome. So for this explainer, we're going to do something a little different. We're taking a virtual trip right to the heart of France. And this trip is designed especially for you if you're learning French. Ready? We're heading to the absolutely beautiful city of Lyon.
Wow. And talk about a welcome. I mean, just look at that view. This is Lyon. It's this incredible city that sits right where two rivers, the Rhone and the Saône, meet. It's famous for, well, you can see it, stunning architecture, a super vibrant culture, and its history goes all the way back to the Roman Empire. So yeah, you can think of this as our classroom for today.
All right, so first things first, let's meet our guides. Because this part of our tour, it's all about seeing the city through a local's eyes.
Okay, so here's our first guide. Her name is Sophie. She's a local, and she's welcoming her cousin, Marie, who's just come in from Paris. Sophie says, "Hello, Marie. Welcome to the magnificent city of Lyon." I mean, that is a perfect, warm Lyonnaise welcome, right?
And Marie, yeah, she is definitely impressed. She calls it a picturesque city and an ideal travel destination. And honestly, she's not wrong. As we're about to see, Lyon is just packed with beautiful sights, not to mention incredible food. It's a huge favorite for travelers for a reason. So you might be wondering, just how big is Lyon? Well, Sophie drops a really key fact here. It's the second largest city in all of France. So what does that mean for us? It means there's a ton to see and do. You get this amazing blend of big city energy with all of that historical charm. Okay, now we're going to dive into a tour of the city's highlights. Sophie is about to show Marie all the landmarks, the lights, and the local history that really make Lyon one of a kind. And here it is. This is probably Lyon's most famous event, the Fêtes des Lumières, or the Festival of Lights. Every single December, the entire city just transforms into this spectacular open-air art gallery. I'm talking buildings becoming canvases for these unbelievable light shows. And this isn't some new thing. It's a tradition that goes all the way back to the 19th century. Just amazing. So Sophie gives Marie a whole list of must-see spots. And get this, Lyon has over 40 museums. That includes one of its oldest, the African Museum. And then you've got these stunning churches like the St. Jean Cathedral and the Gothic-style St. Bonaventure. Not to mention the absolutely magnificent Fourvière Basilica that looks out over the entire city. And for something a little different, there's even a theater dedicated to a famous puppet named Guignol. Okay, this is a real insider secret to Lyon, the triboules. Sophie tells Marie about these hidden passageways that literally weave through buildings and courtyards. The story goes that they were originally used by silk workers to move their goods around, protected from the rain. And today, they offer this super fascinating way to explore the old town, which is called Vieux Lyon. So cool. And hey, speaking of silk workers, that brings us to another huge piece of Lyon's identity. You see, for centuries, this city was basically the capital of the silk trade in Europe. This whole industry, driven by workers they called canuts, it shaped everything, the city's architecture, its economy, even its food. And you can still feel that history walking around the city today. All right, so we've seen the big monuments, but what's it actually like to live in Lyon day to day? What's the vibe? Well, let's find out. We're going to follow another local, Andrea, as she makes plans with her friends. So here's a text that pops up from Andrea. She writes, "Hey friends, are we going for a run in the Tête d'Art Park?" This is such a perfect example of everyday, real-life French. And check this out, she uses on va, which is a really common conversational way of saying we go, instead of the more formal nous allons. It's a great little tip. But you know how it is with group chats, right? Not everyone is free. Anaïs has to hit the books at the library, and Carlette can't make it either. But for a really sweet reason. She's at the hospital visiting her sister's new baby. See? These are the little moments of real daily life just happening all over the city. Luckily, Lola is free. She replies, "Yes, great idea." So they agree to meet up at the park around 3 p.m. And just like that, a plan is made. And by the way, the Tête d'Or Park, it's one of the largest urban parks in all of Europe. So yeah, it's a pretty perfect spot for a run. Of course, to meet up anywhere, you've got to know how to get there. This slide is a fantastic example of simple, clear directions, this time to the archaeological garden. Get off at the metro stop, turn right, take the second street. Did you notice the verbs there? Descends, tourne, prend. That's called the imperative. It's a direct command form, and we're definitely going to circle back to that in a bit. All right, so we've navigated the streets. Now let's switch gears to another essential skill, shopping.
This next part is all about the practical, useful language you would actually use to buy things in Lyon. Okay, first up, a key vocab word for you, bruderie. What is it? Well, it's basically a huge outdoor sale or street market where all the shops sell off their stuff for cheap. Think of it like a citywide flea market. They're super popular in France, and that's exactly where Andrea and her friends are heading. So they get to the market, and Andrea spots the sweater she likes. She goes up to the vendor and politely says, "Hello, sir. I really like this sweater. Can I try it on?" That last part, "Je peux l'essayer?" Can I try it on? Is an absolutely perfect phrase to have in your back pocket. All right, now it's Lola's turn. She sees a bag she likes and asks, "How much does it cost?" The shopkeeper tells her it's 38 euros. And Lola, she says, "C'est un peu cher. That's a bit expensive." And what happens? Just like that, the shopkeeper offers it for 30. Boom, a successful bit of bargaining right there. Okay, for our final section, we're going to zoom in on a few quick grammar tips. Think of these as little secrets to help you sound more like a local when you're speaking French. This is so useful. This slide breaks down the 3 main ways you can ask a question in French. The easiest way? Just raise your intonation at the end of a sentence, like you're asking a question in English. Then there's the more formal way, sticking esque at the beginning. And finally, there's inversion, where you flip the verb and the subject. All 3 of these mean, is he going to school? But they all have a slightly different feel, from casual to more proper. And hey, remember those directions we saw a few minutes ago? Well, this is where that idea of the imperative comes back in. Verbs like tourne for turn and prend for take are used to give direct commands. You just use the verb, no subject needed. It's direct, it's clear, and it's exactly what you need to tell someone where to go. So there you have it. We've toured the big monuments, we've figured out how to navigate the streets, and we've even done a little shopping. We've seen how you can go from a simple bonjour all the way to asking for directions and even bargaining at a market. So I have one last question for you. After this whole tour, what's the first French phrase you'd be excited to try out in Lyon?